Hello everyone, Cowbunger here. Today we are back with our Best of Smash series where I'm going to take a look at a Smash Brothers character across all kinds of different games and see which one is the best. We are including fan games, we are including mods, and we're going to find the best Samus. As you can see straight away if you are a fan of the series, the runtime for this is a lot shorter. During my little hiatus from the series, I wanted to present this series differently just because I really like doing it, but the views just don't show for it. And I was wondering like, okay, so what's a format that I could do this series in that still accomplishes what I want to do while just being easier to watch? And I figured the best thing to do here would be to still go through all the games, show gameplay of each game like I want to, but I'm just going to talk about my thoughts about each character while the gameplay is going, and I'm just going to give a basic summary of how I felt just for like a couple minutes, and then we're going to move on until we get to the last game and do our ultimate judgment. So let me know if you guys like the changes or not. I mean, if not, then I'll just go ahead and go back to doing it the way I was doing it. But the fact that basically every episode so far was like way over an hour is a little crazy. I think bringing it down to be a lot less time will be good. I'm still going to try and show as much gameplay as possible, okay? So first up, Samus's first appearance in Smash is of course Smash 64. My thoughts on Smash 64 Samus is that she overall feels alright. The best move she's got is Charge Shot. It feels very powerful, and it's definitely her main kill move. Most of her aerials actually feel pretty good, besides forward air. Forward air does not really connect into itself at all, and it just kind of feels like a nothing move, unfortunately. But everything else, I mean, up air felt like it had good uses. Down air is really fast in this game. Back air feels strong. Nair feels very good to use to get combos or to potentially get kills. So she's feeling pretty good. As for ground moves, they all feel pretty fine. I don't think there's anything to note besides that down smash is very fast and pretty powerful, and then up smash can actually start combos in this game, which is very interesting. The only bad thing about up smash and just multi-hits in general is that they feel inconsistent. Even when I'm using up air, for example, like whether or not I'm getting all the hits in is a toss-up. That's just kind of how these older Smash games are, though. The only other thing I have to note is that recovery on Samus feels awful in this game. Her up B basically goes nowhere, and in the air, Samus cannot use her grapple beam. So that basically means that up B and down B are her only real shots of recovering in this game, and it just feels so bad. I don't know. For my rating on this tier list, I'm going to give her a C just because she feels on the weaker side for sure. Basically, even though she's got some good moves here and there, I think more often than not, when you're using a move, it just feels pretty bad to use. Let's go ahead and move on to Samus in Super Smash Bros. Melee. The big thing about this Samus is that she now has missiles in her side base. She's got the homing missile and the super missile. As an addition, they are nice, you know? They feel nice. They add an extra little bit of utility to Samus. Sometimes the super missiles can kill, but that's at like super high percents. Really, the thing that they're good at is just getting edge guards ready to go, which I think Samus is okay at. You know, I think her aerials overall are still pretty similar to Smash 64, except that down air is slower, so that's not great. Speaking of things that aren't as useful as they are in Smash 64, up smash is definitely not as useful. It still doesn't kill, but I don't really think it combos either, so it's just a nothing move now, which is a big shame. I think that even though now Samus can use Zair to recover, it still doesn't feel good unless the stage that you're playing on has like a wall that you can attach yourself to. It feels pretty finicky in this game, I must say. It's not very forgiving, unlike some other games later on. So honestly, I'm gonna give Samus in Melee a C. Now we're moving on to Beyond Melee, which again feels pretty similar to Vanilla Melee, but she has a brand new up smash that feels so much better. It's a reference to her counterattacks in Samus Returns, the remake of it, as well as Metroid Dread, which is pretty cool. I mean, even without that context, I think the up smash is pretty good. Comes out very fast, it's decently powerful. It's much better than what she has in Melee, for sure. Another thing you can do is that you can charge a neutral special in the air, which, believe it or not, you can't do that in any official Smash game besides Smash Ultimate. That is crazy. I don't know. I think just as a quality of life thing, that helps Samus out so much because it allows you to charge her charge shot while you're moving, basically. You can jump in the air and move a certain direction, charge your shot. It just makes the move feel so much more useful in my mind. Like, you can throw it out a lot more that way instead of just using it basically when you've knocked your opponent away. It's basically the only time that you can do it in the official games. It doesn't feel great. So in this instance, I think it feels pretty good. I think the up smash change alone makes it feel like she should be like a low B, so I'll go ahead and throw her in there for now. Next, we got Super Smash Bros. Brawl, and I would say she actually feels pretty good in this game. I think the engine definitely benefits Samus when it's a bit of a floatier game. She's always been a floaty character in these games, and it makes sense because that's how she feels in Metroid 2. But I think the big thing too about this game is that it feels slightly easier to do multi-hits, and she's always had a bunch of multi-hits between up B, which, by the way, throughout all these games is a pretty good out of shield option, but it's never really like a kill move until later on. I think that's part of the reason why she's always felt so weak in a lot of these games. It's just that, you know, her multi-hits didn't really feel like they did anything. At least now they're easier to connect into each other in this game. I think the animation in this game, specifically for forward air, kind of makes it so that it hits opponents kind of above Samus, which serves a different purpose than like just throwing out a nair, when usually nair is just much better to do. There's some use cases for fair now, in this game at least, that's good. Overall, all multi-hits on Samus still feel pretty weak, which is a shame. I have to say, out of all the dash attacks so far that Samus has had, this one does go pretty far and feels pretty strong, so that's good. Zair actually feels good as a move and recovery option. I didn't really talk about the fact that even just as a move in Melee, Zair wasn't all that great. It felt finicky there as well. Sometimes it just went through people and I didn't know what was going on there. One big thing though is that down smash got worse. It used to be one of her best moves, and now it's just kind of there. It's unfortunate. Honestly, again, when it comes to Brawl outside of charge shot, maybe like back air, I don't know what Samus's kill moves really are, you know? Despite feeling pretty good to use in this game, I was tempted to make her like a low B as well, but I think she's still pretty weak, man, so I think a high C it is. Next we got Brawl Minus. This is always the wild card in this tier list. First thing that I noticed is that you can do some crazy movement with down special. When you do it, first of all, it seems like the bombs just don't explode as fast, and they have a bit of a bigger explosion to them. They still send people up, but you also just kind of move really fast. There's that. Again, you can charge neutral B in the air, unlike regular Brawl. That's cool. Up B is one hit, and it can actually kill in this game. It's still a very good out of shield option as well, so I'd say, you know, between doing down B movement and up B when people get up close, Samus actually does feel pretty impossible to punish and to play neutral against in this game, so I'd say she feels pretty powerful. I'll give her a low B because of that, because she's definitely not weak in this game, but you know, on a balance level, again, Brawl Minus, sometimes it does some cool stuff with these characters. That's why I look at it, even though it's not really meant to be taken seriously. I think in this case with Samus, they didn't really do anything too creative with her. Next, let's cover Project Plus. I would say this version of Samus feels pretty similar to other versions of the character that we've covered. The big thing I noticed is that up air actually sends outwards, which you can use to follow up into a charge shot, which is really cool. So basically, you hit them away, you charge shot, it will hit them from very far away. It feels very satisfying, and I like that a lot. It's not really used as like a juggling tool anymore, like it's been in the past couple games here, which is fine. I think you gave it an even better purpose, because before, I mean, even if you could say combo it into up B, it's not like that did anything, it didn't kill, so it was just a lot of damage and that was it. Now it actually serves a purpose, which is pretty cool. But again, other than that, you know, all your grounded attacks and all your aerials feel pretty similar to melee. I didn't really see anything that stood out in particular there. As for my rating, again, maybe I'll give it like a low B between Beyond and Minus. I think in Beyond Melee, it feels like she can really scrap between like her down smash, up smash, and up B, all being really good out of shield options. So Project Plus Samus feels a little closer to just regular vanilla Melee Samus, I would say, in those regards, but that up air change is pretty fun and good. Hold the phone, I made a big boo-boo. I forgot about the coolest aspect of this character, which is that she can basically do a stance change with her ice abilities. And it gives her different moves. Mainly, I think it's down tilt, forward air, side B is a bit different, and then up smash. I think all the new moves that form gives her are really fun and really good. Nor where Project Plus is placed now, because it's going to end up being an A in my book for sure. Alright, up next we got Smash 4. I think she feels really good in this game. The engine still favors floatiness, but Samus has some nice buffs here. The multi-hits in up smash and forward air actually connect into each other, finally, and both can kill under the right circumstances, so that's really good. Up B can even kill if you hit it from the top of a blast zone, which is possible because up air combos into itself, like really easily now. It's always kind of been able to do that, but in this game, it's just now that you actually have an up B that can kill, there's an actual incentive to do that just outside of juggling your opponents. It can actually lead to a kill confirm now. And I think the really big thing that made Samus a menace in this game is that dash attack is a combo tool and it leads right into up air. So that's basically your game plan right there, is that you're going to be fishing for grabs where, you know, you can do a down throw, by the way, and also get combos with this character. So you're fishing between a grab, maybe doing neutral special, because neutral special is actually a bit of a combo tool as well, because it has a good amount of stun to it. So you can hit somebody with a charge shot, they get stunned for a second, you can grab them or attempt to do a dash attack, just depending on what you read them doing next. And then from there you just do your up airs and then your up B, and then they die. I think there's even, I think this might have gotten patched, but I swear I've seen instances, because this was just a thing in Smash 4 with a lot of multi-hits, where if you just hit the first hit of Samus's up B, it would just like insta-kill people, which is crazy in of itself. So obviously I'm not able to pull something like that off, so I'm not gonna really consider that for the rating at all. It also has a new Nair in this game, which I think is okay. It has different uses in certain situations. I think it's fine overall. It can still kill off stage, so that's cool. I think tentatively for now she has to go in the best, because this is the funnest that she's been in a Smash game for me. Combos that she has, the fact that Charge Shot has more uses than just being fully charged. You know, you can use it at any point, it's very useful. All of her moves, again, just in general feel pretty alright to use. There's not one in her kit besides maybe like up tilt that feels kind of useless. Even then, I'd say up tilt had its uses in like Smash 64 Melee, not so much Brawl and Smash 4 because of how just ledge grabbing worked. Even something like, for example, her forward smash, this is when she got like the little explosion on it at the end. I think that's awesome. You know, it gave it some extra range and it just made all the sense of the world. Instead of her just punching you with her freaking blaster, she actually gets like a little explosion out of it at the end, just like with her down tilt and her up smash. Like, it just made all the sense of the world. I don't know why it wasn't like that in the first place. Big improvement on what Brawl Samus already was. Next, we got Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So I think this version of Samus feels pretty similar to the Smash 4 version without as many ways to combo. Mainly dash attack is back to being like a bit of a kill move at higher percents, which is probably for the best. I don't think it ever should have been a combo tool in the first place, but you know, the fact that it was kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, other than that, I mean, she still got a lot of her tools that she had in Smash 4. She can still combo with up air into like up B. I don't know if it's gonna kill as early as it did in Smash 4. I mean, maybe if there's platforms you could probably do it, but other than that, I don't know, it didn't feel too great. She has everything from Ultimate, but she just felt nerfed, you know, she felt like she was a bit in line, but she still doesn't feel bad. She still feels pretty good, like an above average character. I will say that like the engine does not favor her as well, again being a bit of a floaty character now in an engine where characters are not as floaty. That's not good for her, so that's a bit of another nerf to her name. So I'd say overall she's probably just like a step below Smash 4, but still a solid A tier. Next, let's cover Ultimate S, which I would basically say is the same as Ultimate Samus with two new moves, up tilt and down tilt. So up tilt is her counter move from Metroid Dread, and down tilt is a little slide that she again does in Metroid Dread. She moves forward with it, it's kind of like a Cloud Sephiroth down tilt basically. Both of these are more like combo centric. You can do up tilts into up airs potentially, or forward airs depending on your opponent's DI. Then with down tilt, it kind of sends away a little bit, but if you hit it like right at the start, you could probably do like maybe a dash attack or forward air out of down tilt. So they both feel pretty good to me. As I said earlier, anything is better than official Samus up tilt, and down tilt, I mean, was never a bad move, but it was just one of those things where it was a bit of a ranged move. There's no reason to use it over something like forward smash unless maybe you're trying to use it at the ledge or something like that. I don't know, the move was sort of just there, and now I think the slide move has a bit more of a purpose. For example, I feel like even though I wasn't able to pull it off, I think you could probably do like a down tilt into a charge shot potentially, so I think that could be really useful and fun. If you're giving her like a kill confirm back, I'd say that she's probably now basically on par with her Smash 4 iteration in terms of power again, because that was the big thing about Smash 4 Samus, is that she had a couple ways to lead you into getting KO'd. Now if you got this down tilt that could potentially combo into charge shot pretty consistently, then sure, you might be just fishing for that, and maybe that'll be a little bit predictable, but I don't know, I mean, it's something that she doesn't really have in Smash Ultimate, so it's a little bit tough. I'd say like on a moveset level, this is the best version of Samus. I'm not gonna say this is like the most OP that she's felt, but at the same time, that's not usually what this series is about. It's not about looking at which one feels like the best top tier. Sure, being strong is very fun, but at the end of the day, I think I value how moveset comes together more than how a character is actually like balanced. I think in this case, taking inspiration from Dread is winning me over a lot, so I'm gonna go ahead and say, again, tentatively for now, that this is the best version of Samus, and Smash 4 has been taken down as like the top of A tier. Now we got Huge Raw Remix up next. This version of Samus felt pretty good too. Even with the engine changes, even kind of being closer to something like Melee, I actually thought that Samus felt pretty at home here. Up air combos into up B were like super easy. Once again, it's a kill confirm for sure in this game. Like in Ultimate again, it doesn't feel like it's as consistent or as good, but now in Huge Raw Remix they kind of brought that back. There is a new up smash, which is pretty good, but I don't know if it's better or worse than the old one. I feel like it kind of serves the same purpose in my eyes. Old Nair's back, so that's good. It's just that long lingering hitbox, which I think I prefer for sure over what she has in Smash 4 and Ultimate. Even though I will say, like, just doing a little kick and sitting there still is not as dynamic. I think I kind of understand why they made the change, just because moves like that just aren't super appealing looking. I would say that her forward air actually feels slightly stronger than usual, which is kind of crazy because, you know, if you use it off stage, it's a kill move. Like, it is pretty good as it was before, and now it's just even stronger. Dash attack on its sweet spot is still pretty powerful, but if you hit the sour spot on it, it can start combos into up air once again, just like in Smash 4. You can again pretty much get this by doing down throws. You can actually do it pretty consistently. So just based on everything I'm saying here, it kind of feels like this version is bringing back a lot of what made the Smash 4 version strong. But, you know, just playing the two, I'd say that they're both pretty much on par with each other in terms of power. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw it right next to the Smash 4 version in A. Next, let's look at the Samus from Super Smash Bros. Crusade. Despite desperately needing a resprite, man, I can't wait for that. Samus actually doesn't feel bad in this game, which is kind of crazy. I play a lot of these characters that do need resprites in this game, and let me tell you, like, even though they need the resprites, they at least do a good job still of making the characters feel fun to play. The big thing about this version of Samus is that she is lacking range because of her weird sprites. She kind of almost feels like a little chibi version of herself instead of what she should be in this game. She's just got like very stubby normals overall. It doesn't feel great. The big thing about Samus in this game is that her up air is the most broken I've ever seen it. Which is saying something because it's comboed into itself in a couple of these other games, but the difference here is that it has like no knockback growth, so you can do it like 5 times in a row into an up B that still kills. So again, that is going to be your main game plan when you're playing as Samus in this game. You can do down throw to start these types of combos, so this is like Smash 4 Samus with an even better up air basically. What I can say about this version of Samus is that up air actually feels too centralized in this kit. Sure, it comboing into itself like 2 times into an up B. That is a little crazy, but is that centralized? I don't think so. You know, that's just like a good combo tool for a character to have. When you can do it like 5 times in a row like you can in this game, that's a little much. You know, that makes it feel like you're over-relying on your up air at that point. So I think because of that wonky balance, I'm going to put Crusade Samus at like a high B because she's still fun, but it's not so fun to play a character that mainly relies on one move. And I'll also throw her in high B because she's ugly. Finally, we are going to be covering SSF2, the 2-time winner in this series so far. Let's see if they can get another win here with their version of Samus. So, this Samus feels the most comparable to the Project Plus version of Samus. Her down smash is pretty strong again, so that's good. Her up air sends away again. You can basically do the same charge shot shenanigans that you can do in Project Plus. Forward smash is like a 2-hit with the explosion coming in later, which I think actually SSF2 did that before the official game, so that's pretty cool. Up smash is more like a combo tool again, like it doesn't have a ton of knockback, but then you can go into up airs into an up B, but up B is not a kill move in this game. So yeah, that's why she kind of feels more like Project Plus and Melee in those regards. I don't think there's anything too crazy going on here. I think that she's probably just going to be at the top of B here. So, that means the winner of Best Samus Award goes to Ultimate S. Congratulations. Again, I think them leaning into Metroid Dread is kind of what got them the win overall. I think the best version of Samus in an official game was Smash 4. She was very fun in that game, but the Ultimate S version of Samus kind of has that less centralized plan of trying to get up airs, and then they add in the 2 cool moves between up tilt and down tilt, which again, you basically gave Samus a move that's actually useful in the form of up tilt. I like that a lot. And then down tilt can combo, it can do kill confirms. I think that that's really cool as well. It's definitely better than what her old down tilt was. So yeah, I mean, you just give her 2 more useful moves than any of these other games really give her, and I think that's what ekes out the win. Thank you all for watching. Again, we're kind of gonna go in the order in which these characters appear in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which actually means, instead of going on to Yoshi, we're going to be covering Dark Samus next, which is pretty interesting. I've already kind of made up the tier list for Dark Samus, and like she's not in a lot of games, but the games that she is in are kind of interesting, you know? There's some that we haven't actually covered yet in this series, so look forward to that, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye-bye.